Quest, and today we got a brand new teaser trailer for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, which is a title change because if you remember, the last movie was called Dead Reckoning Part 1, and then I don't know, the box office performance didn't work out how they wanted to, and so they made some kind of shift. And so instead of the next one being called Dead Reckoning Part 2, it's now called The Final Reckoning, I suppose. Which, you know what, if you're gonna change it from being called Part 2 to just call it The Final Reckoning, that's not, like, that's a pretty smart decision, right? Like, I would say, like, alright, we don't want to call it that because, maybe people who didn't see the first part will not go see the second part, and we don't want to risk losing that audience again, so we need to, like, try to separate it a little bit. Which, also, it was a little strange, because I actually really liked Dead Reckoning Part 1, and I don't know why it didn't perform that well. I'm sure there's definitely, like, reasons out there. I don't know if it was, like, movies that it was surrounded by, or what exactly happened, but it didn't perform well. That's all I remember, and they definitely made this, like, shift. It was announced only, like, a couple weeks later that they're like, we're not gonna call the next one Part 2. So I remember so much that even I think the Blu-rays for Dead Reckoning Part 1 came out, and it was just called Dead Reckoning. So they took the Part 1 out of it for the Blu-ray release, I believe. Anyways, just kind of funny trivia thing. Anyway, let's go ahead and check this one out. Here we go. Okay.
Our lives are not defined by any one action. Our lives are the sum of our choices.
Okay, so some of this is from other movies. Okay.
Everything you are, everything you've done has come to this.
When the need for certainty is absolute and the odds are deemed impossible, the mission falls to him.
Should he choose to accept?
Okay, so we're still dealing with the key and the AI. Okay.
You gambled millions more. And now the fate of every living soul on Earth is your responsibility. That's the pattern, isn't it?
He's always got to be running. He's got to run somewhere.
You refuse to sacrifice the ones you hold close.
They're showing a lot of different clips. Like, a lot. It's just a teaser, right?
You've always been on the right side, brother. I have no regrets. Neither should you.
Yeah, there.
I need you to trust me. One last time.
That was the big stunt, I suppose. Him hanging off that airplane. Every one of these has to have, like, the title stunt of the movie. That seems like that's gonna be it, him hanging out of that airplane there. I was pretty surprised, maybe I shouldn't have been so surprised, to see that, like, they're still dealing with the key and the AI and the submarine and all this stuff that was set up in, obviously, Part 1, because this was originally supposed to be called Part 2. So, obviously it stands to reason that they're going to be finishing off those plot lines because the Part 1 ended on somewhat of a cliffhanger. And I don't know, you know what I mean? Like if you're not gonna change the story at all, if you're still gonna continue exactly where Part 1 left off, then I guess calling it a different name was really only just for the marketing of it, I guess. Yeah, and I don't know how you adjust things, because I thought that last movie was really good. I just don't know why it didn't make any money. So, like, I'm sure that they've had a team of people behind the scenes over there at is this Paramount, kind of looking into, like, what happened. Was it the marketing? Was it the time of year that it came out? Was it just the competition of other movies that were out at the time? You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure they've been like going crazy trying to figure out exactly what happened. But hey, I'm excited for the movie. I went like a couple decades without bothering with any of these, and it really wasn't until I think part 5 or part 6 or something was coming out. It was the one with Henry Cavill. That one was coming out, and everyone online was getting like real crazy about it. So I was like, you know what? Let me actually sit down and watch all these. So I watched like 4 or 5 of these things all in a row, like in one weekend. And I had a great time. I was like, you know what? These are pretty solid like action adventure movies. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is one franchise that it hasn't, obviously they have to keep upping the stakes, but it hasn't fully turned into a cartoon like Fast and Furious has. Like obviously it gets really crazy, and he's going, across the world and jumping off of this and jumping off of that. Like that's his thing, right? But Fast and Furious has become essentially a parody of itself, like just this absurd parody thing. This has still maintained, like, he's a spy. This is, he does the James Bond thing. That's what he does, right? So it makes sense. Anyways, yeah, I'm excited for it. Let me know what you guys think. Does the name change mean anything at all other than just marketing? I guess it was just a marketing ploy, so I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me, I guess. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys later. Bye.